Welcome to the Guelph Real Estate Report podcast with your host and Guelph Realtor, Ryan Waller. This podcast is designed to provide information for those buying and selling homes in the Guelph area to make the process more informative, fun, and a little less stressful. Now, on with the show.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan, and thanks for tuning in to our second episode. We made it. And today we are going to talk about the average price of a house in Guelph and our thoughts on that for the coming year. And any realtor will tell you that usually when they start a conversation with somebody who knows you're in real estate, they'll always start off with, how's the market? And of course that could be answered in a million different ways. But usually that means if you are a homeowner or going to be selling, that you want to hear the market is going up because it means that you probably made a better investment. And as a buyer who is looking to get into the market, you would love to hear that the market is slow and that prices are declining. And the challenge we get into with average price is that the average price is simply that. It's an average of all of the homes sold. And what people tend to think is that if the average price is going up, that their individual home price is going up. So if the average price has increased 5%, people seem to believe that their home price has increased by 5%. Or conversely, if the average price decreases by 5%, people seem to believe that their home has decreased by 5%. And that is not the case at all. Which is why using things like average price can be a bit of a dangerous metric because it's misused. The average price is simply all of the homes that have sold added up together and an average of them all. So if you have some very expensive homes that have sold, really expensive homes that have sold, and you are looking at an average, well, the average is probably going to increase, not because every home in Guelph has increased, but because there are two very expensive homes that bring up the overall average. So you may wonder, why are you talking about this? Who cares? Well, the reason is because I think that we are going to be in a situation in the next year or two where the average price comes down, and not necessarily because there is less demand overall, but more so because the mix of houses and housing that we are seeing in the city of Guelph is changing. Let me give you some examples. To prove my point, I decided to hop in my car, waited till it was nice and bright out. There was no snow. I wasn't distracted. Got in my car and drove north on Woolwich Street. And so as you get to Riverside Park, across from Riverside Park, there is a beer store. And there used to be, Guelphites will know, a beer store not on the road where it is now, but tucked back a little bit further. Well, that was demolished, and they put in a series of stacked townhomes in behind that new beer store. And if you drive a little bit further north and through Woodlawn Road and beside the curling club, you'll see a development of stacked townhomes. And I think there are some townhouses in there as well, but point being, it's pretty dense. If you go from there up Woodlawn Road and you head east to Victoria Road and in back of a little bit north of Victoria and Woodlawn, you'll find some developments of townhouses going in there. And quite a bit of development is going on actually back there on that northeast corner of Guelph. Then I went all the way down Victoria Road south towards Clare Road. But before you get to Clare Road at McAllister, there's a massive development there of, the sign says stacked townhouses and townhouses. I think there's 300 or so units there. And I made a right onto Clare Road. And on the left, the south side of Clare Road, before you get to Gordon, there's a big development of townhouses and stacked townhouses. And when you get to Clare and Gordon, you'll see that there's a couple of developments, condo developments, high-rise condos at 1878 and 1880 Gordon. Poppy Drive, there's a bunch of development there. So I took the Hanlon Expressway to Courtright Hills, and off of Downey Road is Teal, and off of Teal, between two houses, there is a driveway And there is a development of townhouses. And then if you drive a little bit further north on the Hanlon Expressway and you get to the intersection of Paisley and Imperial, you'll find there's a couple of new condo developments that have gone up there. And my point is that there are a lot of condos and there are a lot of townhouses and there are a lot of stacked townhouses being built in Guelph. The one thing I haven't talked about, which I didn't see any on my tour around Guelph, were single-family detached homes. Now, keep in mind that single-family detached homes, so this is what most people aspire to. Not everyone has the goals of cutting their own lawn, replacing the roof, dealing with furnace issues. Some of the things that come up in a single detached home. Not everybody has the desire to own one, but the majority of people do, and single-family detached homes make up about 60% of the sales in Guelph. The other 40 are split between condos and townhouse-style homes. So 6 out of 10 homes selling in Guelph are single-family homes. Are any being built right now? Well, in any of the tour I did, I didn't see any signs of a single-family detached home being built in Guelph. But significant quantities of townhouses and condos. And I don't think Guelph is unique in this. I think you're seeing this around the province. And builders and developers are trying to create density, to build homes quicker, to get people in. And the challenge with that is that the style of home that they're building, well, actually, I think there are two challenges. One of them is there are too many of them too quickly. So anyone that is already in one of these style of homes that is trying to get out of it is going to be competing with those new builds in the coming years. So if you are in one of those style homes and you're considering selling, I mean, sell whenever you want, and don't consider this a sales pitch, but you might want to consider getting a value on it soon. And secondarily, related to that, is we look at the demographics of a buyer. And the demographics of a buyer of a condo. So if you take a look at a condo tower, let's say the Metalworks downtown Guelph, the likely owner of that home is going to be a young professional or a downsizer. It's probably not going to be parents with 3 children because it just doesn't fit the needs they have either for space or layout or whatever reason. But you're highly unlikely to find a family in a condo downtown at the Metalworks. For a stacked townhome, the demographic of that is probably a young professional or someone who is just getting into the market because the price point is less expensive and you are at a young age a lot more mobile and have the ability to easily manage 3 flights of stairs or are okay with having neighbors on either side of you. And it is your first way, typically, to get into the market. There are other demographics for a stacked townhome for sure, but the majority of people who buy a stacked townhouse are not families because the layout probably doesn't work for them and they need a little more space. And you may wonder, why are you telling me this? And the reason is because single-family detached homes make up 6 out of 10 sales in Guelph right now. And condos and townhouses make up 4 out of 10 sales in Guelph right now. There's already a limited buyer pool of these. Only 4 out of 10 are selling as a condo, townhouse, or stacked townhouse. And there are going to be limited buyers of these style of homes because they only meet the needs of a certain demographic. And of course, anybody can live in one of these. They're awesome homes. I've been in many of them. But the needs of buyers are oftentimes not met in a condo if you have a family or a stacked townhouse, maybe let's say if you're a senior. And so what happens when you produce a large quantity of something that has a limited buyer pool? Well, I think you can guess. that probably prices are going to come down. You have way more supply than you have demand for the product. And the product that has the most demand, that sells 6 out of 10 homes, is a single-family detached home. And how many of those are we building? I didn't see any. And so what we are naturally creating is almost a two-tier market. A single-family detached home market where there is limited new builds, and the existing resale inventory probably goes at a slightly higher price because when you have no more supply, no new houses, and demand, which I think we're going to see coming from the GTA shortly, prices are probably going to go up. And of course, there's nuances to this depending on where you are, depending on the condition of the home. They may sell for more or less. And the second part of that is the condo / townhouse / stacked townhouse market, which we are going to see a glut of inventory hit the market once those projects finish. In many cases, they're stalled now for a variety of reasons. But once that product finishes, you are going to have a significant market of those homes and probably lesser buyers. And you're going to see a different type of pricing where there is room to negotiate. Prices are declining because buyers have choice. And this is why we get to the title of this episode, which is the average price is probably set to decline because so much new product is coming in at lower price points. And it is going to drag the average down. Not because homes in Guelph are selling for less, but because the inventory and the mix of product available is dragging down the average. Hope this helps. If you have any questions on the Guelph real estate market, feel free to call, text, or email us. You can find us at bethandryan.ca.